Welcome back to the Balanced Voice podcast and the first episode of Season 9, Part 2. After a brief winter break, we are recharged and ready to dive into a powerful year of conversations. 2025 is a milestone year for Crime Stoppers of Houston as we launch our Million for Million campaign, our commitment to educating 1 million students and their families on critical safety topics this year. Take a look at our mission video for this exciting new initiative.
Sammy found an offer for a pill online. He accepted it, and it was delivered as easily as a pizza. Yes, he was told it was a pill. No, he wasn't told that it was laced with fentanyl. And Jackie? She was a teenager suffering from depression. In an online chat group, she found a solution. The wrong solution. Unfortunately, it wasn't just the end of depression. And Ellie? Outside the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, there was an impromptu memorial set up after the shootings. There was one particular cross with a picture of a young girl. On the wood above the picture was a handwritten note, a promise to her. It simply read, "We'll fix this. Period. Promise. Period." Those 3 children are gone. Nothing we can do will lessen the pain. But what we can do is learn from those events and make sure that our children are equipped to handle the world around them, so that the story of their loss doesn't become the story of any other family's loss. Which brings us to us. We're Houston's top nonprofit dedicated to public safety. And since 1980, we've remained committed to our mission of helping solve and prevent serious crimes. In 2017, we opened the first ever Crime Stoppers headquarters, which houses our tip line program, the Safe School Institute, as well as the Safe Community Institute, which includes our Victim Services Program, the Glenda Gorey Research Center, and the Balanced Voice podcast. This is about the place we call home, Texas. It goes without saying that when it comes to our children's safety, we're not satisfied with the status quo. In fact, anyone who has a heart shouldn't be comfortable either. So we're raising our own expectations. We've added a new mission, and with it, a new goal. We're calling it Million for Million, and we're launching it here, tonight. The name defines the mission. We're going to reach 1 million students and their teachers this coming year, and do it on a budget of $1 per child. And for that, we'll deliver the tools, the training, the content, and the inspiration for students and teachers to not only navigate threats, but to become sources of inspiration on their own. We've got a head start. And right now, we're in classrooms in Houston, Harris County, and throughout the state of Texas. That means we're currently reaching thousands of children. But our next goal is to increase thousands to 250,000, with all of them receiving direct face-to-face training. And the ultimate goal line, the remaining 750,000 children, we'll reach through year-round digital assets plus collateral material for families. But it takes work, commitment, and most of all, community muscle. Because any collective challenge, and crime is just that, demands collective involvement. Remember the promise that was made to Ellie? The words were, "We'll fix this." Promise. Well, here's our community promise. We'll fix this together. Promise. Because child safety is the ultimate higher ground and the most important for all of us. And the way we'll reach higher is with our collective boots on the ground and our hands in the air. So let's raise them up for Texas children.
This season, many of our episodes will align with that mission. We'll be tackling issues like online safety, human trafficking, and the fentanyl crisis, giving you expert insights and real solutions to protect our youth. We're thrilled to have you with us on this journey this year, and let's jump into a timely discussion between Rania and Jenn about some safety-related hot topics. This is The Balanced Voice.
We are back, part 2 of season 9. Jen,
Rania,
we're back.
We're back.
Okay.
I don't know if everybody's ready for us to be back.
We're back. And so much has happened. So first of all, The Balanced Voice on Espanol has launched. And we are so excited. The response has been phenomenal. Adriana, Ricardo are our co-host. They've done their first show. They've knocked it out of the park. I don't speak Spanish, but I can tell from the feedback that it's phenomenal.
What do you mean you can tell from the feedback? You're reading the notes and it's saying, bueno.
No, like engagement, like the 2,800 and something likes just for the advertisement of it. Yes, like the response has been phenomenal. And you know who told us, who really encouraged us to do this?
Goya?
Maite
Goya. I love it.
And she was right. And I met with Ricardo right after I got my Invisalign. Met with Ricardo, couldn't say 2 words because I was like, Ricardo, I can't speak. He's like, take him out. I'm like, excuse me, Ricardo. And so we did that and met with Adriana, and it's just been phenomenal.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
They're really great.
She sits in that chair.
She does. I'm in the Adriana.
You're in Adriana's chair.
If I was as beautiful and tall as her,
I want to be as tall as her. No, Jen.
I know.
We're vertically challenged.
You know, I tore like ligaments in my ankle, so I'm now more vertically challenged. You're I will probably never put a heel on again.
But can you wear a thicker heel?
No.
You can't even wear like a wedge?
Hurts. Did you know that they said, so I went to an orthopedic surgeon, all that. They say that doing an ankle sprain, I had a pretty severe ankle sprain, both sides of the ankle, is worse than a break. It's going to take a year, like 6 weeks, year, 6 months, who knows?
Physical therapy?
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of, you know me and... Yeah, getting old. It's okay.
We're getting old.
Santa's Winter Wonderland out by College Station.
Who knew?
Fell coming out of the effing toilet trailer. Not sexy.
I would never go into that, by the way.
Going to the toilet trailer?
No.
This was like a high-end luxury one.
It's not that I'm terrified of getting locked in them. Do you know I got locked into a bathroom in Germany? It was a disaster because you know how claustrophobic I am.
Hear about all of our phobias.
No, I got locked into a bathroom in Germany.
You don't like closed spaces.
I do not.
You don't like elevators either.
No, I do not like elevators, and I don't like small.
What about open space? If I said, "Hey, let's go fly out of the plane," would you do it?
Fly out of the plane?
I mean, like jump out of the plane.
Absolutely not. But I like flying. I like being in a
balloon ride. Hot air balloon?
No, can't do it.
I'm doing those things when I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Going in a hot air balloon. Don't know if I'm going to fly.
You're doing like activities. I don't like activities. I've just determined. Like I like get in the hot air
activities. You just want to meander around the town or whatever.
But you're doing like fun stuff.
Yeah. As long as I don't have to plan it, I'm good. My friend Jane is planning the whole thing.
European vacation.
Paris, Malaga, Spain, and then we are on to Marrakesh, Morocco.
Oh, Rami's dying to go.
I'm so excited.
I just want to go eat there.
Destination point.
I want to go eat there.
Right.
It's going to be so good, Jen.
You've never been? That's in the area you grew up. So
no, we never. You know, when you're from a certain part of the world, my parents are from Cairo. You just go to Cairo. You know, we don't go explore.
Right.
Like people are like, "Oh, have you done the Nile cruise?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not." Like we don't do, and we barely make it to the pyramids.
Yeah.
I mean, we do the obligatory pyramids, but no.
Yeah.
But a lot's been going on. Okay, so we like to do hot topics every once in a while, shake things up. The last few weeks. This is my alternate life. I love this stuff. Okay, let's start with the most recent.
Okay.
Did you watch the Grammys?
I watched. I can't really handle the Grammys anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm so not into Hollywood. Like Hollywood and me are like the antithesis of each other. We just. I think I've seen too much in the exploitation and trafficking world. To
Oh, well.
Be okay with that group of space. So no, but I've seen the reels. I've seen the what they wear. I've used look on the reels. I've seen some of the acceptance speeches and the flips by some boon dude that's all hot and sexy now.
Oh God.
So I've seen like pieces.
But I gotta tell you, I like of all the award shows, so this season you have the Golden Globes and you have the Grammys, you'll do the SAG, Oscars, the Tonys is at some point. I don't like the Grammys. It's like the one I don't care to watch.
Why?
I'm not into the music culture of it. I think it's too much for me. Like they're trying too hard to be too different and the pressure is just unbelievable. Whereas I feel like the Oscars is a bit more elevated. Golden Globes is fun. SAG Awards.
You go to some of those things too, though, right?
I love that stuff. But the Grammys, the reason I bring it up is because everybody knows, and it was like very big news. Kanye West and his wife walked the red carpet.
Mhm.
His wife, Bianca Censori,
Mhm.
is known for walking around town basically naked.
Mhm.
And she got on the red carpet with a fur,
Mhm.
paused, literally dropped the fur, and was 100% naked.
No, she had something on.
It was a sheath, but it was
a sheath.
see-through.
Yes,
It was
correct.
mesh, completely see-through.
I agree.
And he was so proud of her because she, broke the internet. She was like the #1 search term in the globe.
Which is probably why they did it.
But so the debate online is that empowering? Is she being abused? My theory is for me, it's not empowering. And I don't know that she's being abused. I feel like she just wants to stand out in a world of talented people where she doesn't have talent. And she's saying that I have nothing else to offer. So here's my body.
So I have a little bit different of a spin on it, right? So, we currently have a president whose wife shared a lot of her body online, right? In magazines and articles and promotions.
My brain's got to catch up because I thought you were talking about Jill.
No, I'm talking about Melania.
I know, but my brain. Okay. I
God,
know.
I hope it's not Jill.
Well,
No,
I don't know.
It's Melania.
Yeah, Melania.
Although Jill is a beautiful woman.
Yeah, they're both beautiful.
And so part of me, like I have like kind of right brain, left brain. Like part of my brain is, oh my God, that's super exploitative. What are they telling our children? Telling them it's okay. Why would we want to teach that's important for women to do or girls to do when there's so much intelligence in a female? But the other part of my brain is like, oh my God, if she wants to do that.
But you don't do that at the red carpet of an award show.
Y'all do. Like when, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, that's a whole nother crazy level, were basically bathing suit.
Bathing suit's fine. But she was naked, Jen. Like naked. Like they had to blur out.
I know.
Like she's actually naked.
But if she wants to do that and she's not being forced or coerced or...
Okay, but why would she want to do it?
I don't really know.
Like,
I think
what is that
those
inside
two have
of you?
a whole different kind of psyche that us mainstream people just don't tap into.
What's so weird about Kanye, and I'm fascinated by him because I love the fact that he fought cancel culture, that he stood up against P. Diddy, that he said all these things people what did he support Trump when that was unheard of, especially in the Black community. Like I appreciate people that are strong enough to do that. But why on earth would he be okay with his wife walking around?
Like it's a way to, I think it's a way to express herself. And I think it is if she's not forced and coerced and that's what she wants to bring to herself for attention. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do for me because God knows I don't look like that.
She has a great body. She's a great body.
I mean, I kind of have to say, like, if I was sexier and taller and had I would do a little show. Come on,
cleavage, whatever. You are not going to walk around naked.
No, not
First of all, there's
naked.
there's moral standards. There's standards of the facility.
But see, I think you and I are living in a world where we have a compass of a moral standard it derives from the same place.
But even Grammy said, this is not our standard. This is this is not allowed here.
And I think they walked them. Did they walk them out?
Apparently, they escorted them out, or they weren't supposed to be there and seated. I don't know that part, but they left.
Yeah. To me, I'm like kind of on that space, like live and let live, unless she's being forced and coerced.
Yeah.
Like live and let live. That's what she wanted to do. Look, Kanye's, I think, gone through a lot of stuff. He's got some mental stuff that he's got going on. I think he then went to, I mean, if you watch the roller coaster that is Kanye's life being played out in public, he was super, the rap he wrote was very exploitative, very, I think, negative. Then he went, he tried to have this marriage with Kim Kardashian. That didn't work out. It went bad because of his mental state. Then he went to try to find God. He found God. And now he's going the opposite way. And I think he's going the opposite way because God didn't fix his marriage with Kim.
This is fascinating, Jennifer Holman.
Do you know who
riveted by this.
I can't take credit.
For the person who doesn't
Nicole,
like Hollywood.
Shout out to my friend Nicole.
Oh, okay. Well, I like Nicole a lot.
Nicole is a friend of ours. I'm going to name her last name. But she is a friend of ours that when, she is an American Black woman. And my sisters and I are obviously Persian, Hispanic, Caucasian, whatever you want to call us, whatever day. And so we often have these debates of what does it look like from your lens, your cultural lens, and what does it look like from the... We just had this conversation last night.
Oh my gosh, I wish I was there.
And it was Coley is so fascinating.
I wish I loved
Everybody
her.
is going to know, all our friends are going to know who I'm talking about when I say that. She's kind of one of our sisters.
Nicole, I want to be friends with you.
It's
That was a great synopsis.
and Coley just kind of opens my eyes up, and then she tells me from a Black female's perspective, like what's going on culturally or maybe in the community and so on and so forth. So
okay, that's amazing.
I know it's fun to have
I'm
a friend
gonna
like her.
Brit, because we are gonna
We don't always agree, by the way.
No, but that's the best thing ever. You
Yeah.
shouldn't always agree.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on because
Yes.
we're actually getting ready to welcome a great guest, and you'll see this fabulous guest next week's episode. But speaking of Kanye West, we didn't talk about this before. I'm curious if you know or followed anything about it. Kanye West worked with Candace Owens for a period of time.
Mhm.
You know Candace Owens?
I do.
And she's on this big hunt to figure out whether or not
Lively and Ryan.
Well,
Reynolds.
no, but also Brigitte Macron. Have you seen
Right.
anything about this?
Yes.
She is determined to figure out, or her thesis or claim is that potentially Brigitte Macron is really a man.
Yeah.
And who's transitioned. My whole thing is not, do we think she is or isn't? Is it any of our business? That's what I want to know. Is this any of our business?
Do you think it's your business?
No.
I don't think it's my business
And I don't
either.
think it's my business even if I lived in France. Like, for example, well, it's not comparable at all, but like, I don't care. I never cared about, well, I'm not going to say any of that. I'm just going to say it's none of our business. Even if I lived in France, why do I care? Why do you care? Is he a good president? Is he managing the economy?
Yeah.
Does he represent the country in
I
terms
could
of
get around
foreign
that.
affairs? I don't care about his personal life. Why do I care?
I could get around that. I mean, I want to know certain things about the leaders of our country, what their moral values come from, what they think about certain things. Yes, I do.
Agreed.
But he's not my president.
Yeah.
And they have very little impact on what we do here.
And again, I haven't listened to any of it, but I'm curious. I just keep asking, should we even be digging into things like that? Now, it seems like there's more to that story, but
I think she's upset because it's like you're not telling the truth.
Yes, that's her whole thing.
For the French.
Yeah,
like,
just say
and
who
her
you are,
husband's
be
European,
yes.
so that matters over there more than I think it does here. But this Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively thing, look, here's what I have to say on that one.
Okay, recap a little bit before you say what you have to say.
Recap a little bit. Justin, have you watched that movie?
I have.
Oh, it is a great movie.
Yeah.
I do like the movie.
I find Justin Baldoni so handsome.
Yeah, right, with big nose.
Big nose, everything, hair, short hair, all of it. I love him. Okay,
I agree. So Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively made a movie about domestic violence, right? And it's actually soft domestic violence.
Yes, correct.
You kind of, it's posed as these are accidents that happen.
Yes.
And he hurts his wife.
Yeah.
Or girlfriend. And so supposedly they were fighting each other about the movie rights and how the movie was being edited between Baldoni and Lively. Come to find out, more people keep letting information happen that says, well, they had, Ryan Reynolds shows up on the set. He wants to see the dailies, which is like the recap of everything they filmed that day.
He's
supposedly rewriting scripts. He's getting maybe jealous. And so it sounds like there's kind of more to the story. So that's what Candace is after. And let me tell you.
I haven't seen Candace talk about that, but there's so much about
No, she's got like
case.
insider scoop. You got to go watch it. But here's the thing. Here's my thing about this case. They made Baldoni out to be either he was sexually assaulting her or coming on to her inappropriately and against her will. They made him out to be the bad guy.
Right.
If that is not the case, and this man was, because he has a family, he doesn't seem like he was inappropriate. Everybody says he's a really good guy. His business partners that he's with are really, if he didn't do that and they flip this on him, I'm going to be real pissed. I will never watch Deadpool again.
That's what everybody's thinking.
Guardians of the Galaxy is over.
Well, that's what everybody's
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Everybody's saying like they calculated this, that, Ryan felt like Blake, there was like some chemistry there. She might have had a crush on him. He was getting jealous. They start to try to take ownership of everything about the movie.
How to edit it. That's going to piss me off, and they are dead to me.
And so the big thing is how serious is it for a woman to claim sexual assault? It's so serious.
So serious.
And we are taught to believe
the
victim.
That's right.
And so what bothers me about it is, as I was researching their case, one of the things, when you start researching, like popular search terms come up with it, when to not believe a sex abuse victim came up, because now she's tainting it. It just went on to how her accusations around him seem pretty false and lacking. And the evidence, he was very smart in that when he started to sense that there was
Something going
going to
on.
be friction with them, everything went to text, everything went to email, everything was recorded. And he has, what do they say in today's vernacular, all the
And his
receipts.
attorney, and his attorney's like exposing them.
And Chip
all that was-
Babcock's one of the attorneys on this case.
Oh,
Houston
really?
attorney. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
On his side or on hers?
I don't remember. I feel like on his, but no, I just remember reading Chip Babcock's name, which is
I'm just going to be
Houston
really
attorney.
pissed off if that guy really didn't do anything, and because that then hurts victims of the future. When you have
Yes.
false accusations, then that makes people not believe victims, and then we have a whole nother.
And there's
Yes.
another layer of it. Is Blake Lively so beautiful that she's gotten away with being mean for so long? And that's another angle that I've read.
Nobody is ever too beautiful to be.
That's what's coming out, that she was mean in Gossip Girls, that she was mean, and she did a movie with Ben Affleck, that she's difficult in most movies that she's in. There tends to be friction, and people just let it go because she's just a beautiful girl.
What I hope is because why are we talking about Hollywood really? Well, we're talking about Hollywood because it's such an influence on pop culture and our families. Well, not mine, but children. A lot of children in the world look up to these people. And so I just hope this is one more thing that puts a nail in the coffin of having our children look up to these humans, because they're just humans, and they screw up and they make mistakes and they're not perfect, and and some of them are nice. And some of them are just, and they all keep quiet around some really bad things that are happening, which I think is sexual exploitation, everything like Diddy.
P. Diddy. And so we'll wrap up with this because
Yeah.
the case continues to honestly, I don't know how he's getting out of this. And I know he was recently in the hospital.
Oh, see, I haven't kept up with it, because I know once I do, I'm about to go on a vacation. So once I do, I'm going to get addicted to the court documents, like I did with George Floyd. And so has anything come out? Have they been to hearings?
No, but Tony Busby, who's a friend of Crime Stoppers in the
Yeah.
organization, just filed a bunch of additional claims, male and female victims, trafficking, sexual
I hope we can get
exploitation.
Tony on some point. I heard somebody, in fact, my friend Coley,
Love her. Nicole, I want to be friends with you.
she'd be like, she gave me a shout out. He said that Tony,
Uh-huh.
there were some things about that case where he didn't make it foolproof, or they didn't have enough stuff that it was really foolproof. So I got to figure out. I would
There
try
was
to
one
call Tony
claim-
and be like,
There was one claim that I think, if this is what they're referring, there was a young girl who was a victim supposedly of sexual assault at the hands of P. Diddy.
yeah,
She was a girl with a special needs. She was slightly on the spectrum, and her story didn't line up. And even her dad, and the case went out there. They sued. I think this is one that Jay-Z was attached to.
yeah.
They sued to disclose her identity because the case was so egregious. When the dad found out, he said, "This doesn't even sound familiar." She ended up at a party in Hollywood at midnight looking for a ride. He was like, she was 13. She has
Yeah.
special needs. Like, this didn't happen. And so I don't know what happened with that. But
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. I'd love to hear from Tony. Like, did that
we need
happen?
Tony. We need to get you on the podcast at some
I'm sure
point.
he can't talk about these cases.
No, he
right
can't
now,
talk
but-
about these, but at one point we'll have him on because they're big cases. He does such great work. It's fun to talk about this stuff at parts. Really none of it's silly. Like it's all substantive in terms of how it impacts the world and culture. We're going to come back with a fabulous guest who is iconic in every way, but we wanted to kick off with hot topics, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time on the Balanced Voice podcast. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Balanced Voice podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform, as this helps us reach more listeners with life-saving information. For extended content, follow us on Instagram at the Balanced Voice podcast and follow Rania at the Rania Report. Be sure to answer our weekly poll on Spotify, and we hope to see you next week for another balanced conversation.